The DioField Chronicle. The DioField Chronicle demo review. Releasing in September 22nd, co-developed between Square Enix, you might have heard of them, and Lancars, who you know from Zanki Zero, Monarch, Kawaii Kanu 3D, Jewel Pet, Mahano Rizumo Dia, and everybody knows them for Wisman's World. Music composed by Brandon Campbell and Ramin Djawadi. Game of Thrones. Pretty cool. And as a disclaimer, I do have to disclose, I am heavily invested in this property. I spent $206.26 on the collector's edition for the PS5. So if this game sucks, that's gonna be pretty sad. But after playing this demo, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, the trailers made it seem like it could go either way. This could be either a really good game or gutter trash. And after the 3 hours I put into it, I feel pretty positive on it. It didn't wow me. I didn't say, oh my god, this is the next Tactics. But it was solid. I couldn't say anything really bad about it. You know, it's got all the things you expect. The gameplay is a little different. You know, it's not a traditional tactical RPG. It lies somewhere between a strategy RPG and a real-time tactics and tactics RPG. It's not anything exactly like what I've played before, but it doesn't feel unfamiliar either. And after playing the first battle, I felt pretty comfortable. I was worried going into it that maybe, just maybe, the gameplay was going to suck. I don't think it was that bad. It's got some flashy animations, some cool, I was going to say cool cooldowns, but the abilities that have cooldowns. And each different class feels nice and distinct, you know, pretty distincty. And I guess we can talk about the story a little bit. So, DioField Chronicles starts off with kind of a flashback. A cutscene, cool art style, by the way. Not quite the no-noses of Tactics, but pretty close. So you've got these two main characters, Fredret and Andreas. Andreas? And later, there's some great names in here. Not to mention Lorraine Luckshaw and Iskarian and Walter Quinn. It just flows. It just flows right out the tongue. But anyway, you meet those two guys as kids, and in the cutscene it shows this other kid being stabbed, and apparently he was next in line for the throne because as he was dying he had some sort of mark of the blessed. So they don't really go into that too much. There's that very brief cutscene and they kind of plop you in, I think it's like 12 years later or something like that. You and the other dude, or both of you, are in this mercenary company. You save this one person, the Luckshaw lady, and she's so enthralled by you guys and your rescue efforts, you're part of the new mercenary kind of thing under this guy with a monocle.
A Lord Councillor's private mercenary unit, eh? It seems the plan's coming together, Andreas.
Aye. Onward and upward. Let's go.
Andreas and his fellow Central Field mercenaries come to the rescue of a government official, Lorraine Luckshaw, and are invited to join Duke Hende's private militia as a result of the prowess they display. This unit is headed by Commander Yolzum Jordan, a former knight from a mid-ranking noble family. And the mercenary trio's first task is to go and meet their new commander at the unit's base.
And that's pretty cool. And since this game does carry over the save data, I mean, this goes right into it. So it's kind of a weird start for a game. They didn't really let it breathe too much, but I still kind of do prefer this to the what felt like 3 hours of explanation in Triangle Strategy. It all takes place on the Zes-Ale continent. Once you get near the end of the demo, you unlock the library, and that kind of gives you this huge lore dump where you can go in on all the people you've kind of met so far, all the big players. The whole game, not the whole game, but this part of the game at least takes place on DioField Island, which is split up into some pretty easy to remember places like Northfield, Southfield, Centralfield, Westfield, and Eastfield. Did I get it? And so they go into that in the library. You can go into some really cool world building stuff. They're called, what is it? Orgus. So there's these weird whale beings, monsters that survived or used to live 300 million years ago or something crazy. I don't know how they have carbon dating in this game, but we won't worry about that. The whale part made me think of Sin from Final Fantasy X. We'll see if... That's the other weird thing. So there's that. Before I lose my train of thought, Argus. I think that is the left side of the DioField logo. There's this weird monster that has wings. So I think that's the Argus. I'm going to just take my bet now that the woman is Walta whatever.
Lady Walter Quinn, if you would be so kind.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Walter Quinn Redditch.
No survivors, regrettably. Perhaps they suffered the same fate as the traders.
We must discover what caused the dead to rise like that.
What do you mean? They're just monsters, aren't they?
Fred, tell me what monster materializes like that. No, this is some yet unknown phenomenon. Or a scheme of man. Lady Walter Quinn, any insights for us?
I do not.
And yet you do possess considerable power, milady. Is ancient sorcery passed down through your house?
No, there's no such sorcery in House Redditch to my knowledge. I acquired my powers during my time in the church.
During your time in the church? Is that so? Walter Quinn, if you've nowhere else to go, would you perhaps join our unit?
Rias, what on earth are you proposing? She's nobility through and through.
I gratefully accept your offer, my dear Andreas Ronderson.
Rias,
Wow, I wasn't expecting this.
Because she's very weird and mysterious so far. And so you've got that. And then they also go into the Magilumic orbs. So during the first battle near the end of that, they go into this summon ability that you can do where you do this cool AoE attack. And it's Bahamut.
push forward.
Which is like, is this Final Fantasy? Is this related? And you've got Bahamut, and then near the end, like the last boss of the demo is Fenrir. So you've got two summons. In the library, it goes into the fact that these aren't real monsters, that it's based on mythological beasts, and that all the people summoning it have to think of the same thing. So it's like a group tulpa. And then the game kind of does all the things you expect an RPG to do. Again, you've got skill trees, you've got environmental opportunities in the battle where you can blow up kegs and stuff. You can capture bases to lower drawbridges. And there's a risk-reward kind of system. There's treasure chests on the battlefield, but you'll have to send one of your units off to get that, so they won't be available in the battle. I really do like the way the system works, though, is you can kind of pause time and think about it. which is kind of why I would still define this as a tactical RPG, even though it doesn't really seem like it all the time. So I really enjoy that aspect of that. And you can kind of put little waypoints if you want to collect things on the way, or to orient your guys so they can do a back attack for extra damage. But that's kind of most of my thoughts on the demo. Time will tell. It's kind of set a good foundation for me, where I'm excited to see where all the skill trees go, and there's enough mystery. The lore dump in the library makes me think they put a lot of time into this world, you know. After Triangle Strategy going super deep on like 3 different areas, but the world kind of feeling very fake, this world feels almost as thought out just in terms of word count as Final Fantasy Tactics. I mean, the way they set up all the relationships and how there's all these different kinds of governments and the way the religion works and the way the magic, the Jade, which seemed at first to be the main component of what was going to cause conflict in this game. So there's Jade, which doesn't look like Jade, but it is essentially the Magicite, or the what do they call it in Valkyria Chronicles? It's the glowy magical shit that's going to make magic work in this world, essentially. So we'll see if that's the main crux of the story or if it's the church. Here's hoping we get some Zodiac stones in this game. But I have to say I'm pretty excited. You know, tell me what you think. Tell me if you think this game sucks. I mean, the art style, I don't think will be to everybody's taste. And gameplay-wise, we'll see how deep it goes. So far, it seemed very, very easy except for the bosses. The bosses were actually pretty challenging. But hope you enjoyed this review. Hit the like button, hit the notify bell, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you when the game comes out. I'm kneeling right now. My knees are killing me.